So I'm thinking that we should move over to that building over there because there's enemies that are over there on the other side of that building. So we should be able to go and get them. They're going to be on that angle. It's going to be really good. And I think that we should do this. It'll be great to get this done. And then, yeah, so are you ready? Hey! Aww. Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy Chuckles here. And Isaiah. And it's your favorite members of Meal Team 6. So then for this video, we've already given you a lot of tools, how to function and succeed as an individual, but now we're going to be focusing in this video on putting them together and working in a group of any more than one person. One man can't hold down the entire team, working as either a full team, a unit, a fire team, or in two-man teams. So let's get right into it. The most important thing about being in a team is communication. If you're working with one or two, however many people you are, being together, it's like a group project where you all are going to be working towards one common goal. You have multiple tools at your disposal to handle pretty much any situation that comes at you. Whether you're engaging one person, having a second person is going to make your odds of defeating that other person infinitely better. Effective communication is short. You don't really need to say a lot of details, but you need to make sure that you're loud and clear. Always use a really firm tone of voice. You never know what's happening. Whether or not there's music playing out on the field, or whether it's just loud firefights, technicals, whatever's going on out there, you're going to need to make sure that you're heard. Everybody's wearing masks. They can't hear very well. There's already that impediment kind of in the way. So you have to make sure that your communication is clear. And two, that it's void of any unnecessary details. Like, if you're calling out an enemy position, don't say, that building over there. Like, that's not specific enough. If you're on a CQB field, there's 30 buildings on the field, and that's very nondescript. So you say, oh, he's on the right side, on the back of that blue building at R12. That's perfect. That's about as detailed as you're going to want to be as you need to be. You could run into an issue if you're outdoors, the same thing. You're like, he's behind a tree. Great, we're in the woods. What is that gonna help? So that's something that's going to immediately clarify a situation. If, say, me and Isaiah were holding down a hallway, that I'd want to communicate that to him in case he didn't see it. Just make sure that we're both tracking those guys, whatever enemies that there are. So communication, and then being clear with what you're doing. So we're gonna talk about moving. Movement is a huge thing as well, moving as a team. It makes it a lot easier. You don't have to cover yourself. You have somebody else or other persons that can cover and move with you. So what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna establish how you're gonna be crossing the lane of fire. So then I'd be like, Isaiah, I'm gonna be moving across this lane of fire. I need you to cover me.
All right, move.
And then don't just go right away. You need to make sure that you're ready to go. What you're gonna wanna do is have some sort of a countdown. Normally the person that is covering you, you're gonna want them to be the one counting, because it's going to be on their go, essentially, when they feel like they're the ones that have the eye on the situation. Isaiah's going to know better than me. If I'm moving, he's going to be static. So he's going to be able to focus on all of these things. And I'll be able to move with my gun up and everything. But the most essential part is that we're in sync. Because if we're not in sync, I say, cover me, and I start running, and Isaiah doesn't know what's happening, then I'm just caught out in the open and I get shot. And then I'm dead, and then he's confused, and then I might get mad because he messed up and didn't watch my back. Thanks, Isaiah. And then if you're moving cover to cover, and you want them to move along with you, you're gonna have to do it'll be the inverse. Now you're gonna have to cover them so that they can move to you. Pretty simple. And it avoids a lot of confusion that you'll find out on the airsoft field. Also, it helps you avoid being shot by your friendlies that are right behind you when you're like, hey, I'm going across. So that's essential.
When you're moving and whatnot too, you want to understand what your group's pace is. Everyone's kind of different. Some people like to go really fast. Some people like to go, kind of slower. So just kind of try to fit yourself in the pace of the overall group. And usually the person in the front will decide kind of the pace of which you guys are going at. Slower pace, you're going to be able to cover more. You're not going to be So you just like sprint across like an open area, you have to now cover a million different lanes, whereas you're moving kind of slowly, you only have to cover like one lane at a time. Makes it really simple. You can usually take out any targets with that. So just kind of understand the overall pace of what your group's going to be moving at as well.
An issue that you're going to frequently run into on an indoor airsoft field especially is you're going to be moving building to building. So then inevitably breaching a building comes up. Now you don't need to be super crazy tactical, oh my god, you know. But what is essential again is the communication. When you're the first man in a stack, so me and Isaiah, let's say we're stacked up on a door and I'm in front. Point man is the guy up front. Point man is never wrong. But essentially when you go into a room, the point man is going to take whatever the path of least resistance is. So if there's an obstacle in the way, he's not going to go in that direction. So the point man, normally when you have a point man, if you're going to, within the context of a team, you're going to want him to be fairly aggressive. Not that all the other players shouldn't be. Every player in a team should be able to be aggressive and be essential in that. Everybody has to work together. But you're going to want your most aggressive person kind of going in there and hitting that room. Second man in, or woman, second person in is going to go whatever direction essentially that the point man did not go. And the point man's never wrong. There's no real set way to kind of do anything. There is, but it's only the path of least resistance. Whatever ground you don't have covered, he doesn't have covered, is a ground that now you have to cover. And it should be one fluid motion. You guys should already be in the room at the same time, essentially. You should be right on them, because then that'll minimize the amount of time that you all are exposed. You'll be able to cover your man effectively, so if he comes in a room but there's a guy in a corner that he missed, me being next in, I can come around that corner and hit that guy or enemy and be reasonably effective. So those are relatively simple strategies that you can employ within your team. And if you're starting a team, there are good things to practice with. Obviously working with your team, everybody's going to understand everybody's play style. You're going to fit into a role a lot better. You're going to be more efficient as you become a more well-rounded machine. Everybody in the context of a team should be able to do everything and have a really similar baseline of where they're at. And if they don't have those skills, they have to start gaining them. So these have just been a couple of different tips that are going to get you guys to work efficiently as a team. Hopefully some of the visuals have helped. Hopefully this video has helped. If you haven't already seen some of the individual stuff, please go on over to our channel. Make sure you check out the beginning and intermediate individual level skills, because a lot of what you learn over there will be applied in the situation. It's the concept of a spiral curriculum. What that means is everything constantly builds upon everything else to get you to the point of being proficient. Other than that, thank you guys so much. If you have any tips you'd like to toss down in the comments below, make sure you like this video, subscribe to our YouTube, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram. Make sure you guys are paying attention. We got those ops coming up, so make sure you're pre-registered online, you guys. All right, other than that, it's been your boy Chuckles, Isaiah, and this is Meal Team 6 out.